Israelite, right?
Yeah.
What made you change or convert?
It was the groups that I was hanging out with were kind of they were hateful. There was a lot of prejudice at that time. It was totally against hardcore against whites. You know, I'm partially white. I'm a mixed culture. You know, my dad was Hispanic though, and that was one of the main things. I felt like I was always trying to chase laws rather than chasing grace. Right, I could never get clean. I could never get sober. Right, I never had the structure in my life that I needed. Within Catholicism, now I learned how to pray and trust in God, find His mercy and graces.
You know, it's things. These are examples of the high control that's prevalent in organizations like these Hebrew Israelite cults. There's no regard for you as a human being. There's no regard for your personal well-being. They don't care. You know, they don't. They call you brother, but you're not really a brother to these people. You're just somebody, a cog in the wheel, of the machine, and you're expendable to these people, and they can just discard you and put you out for whatever insane reason they want. And other brothers can attest to that. And it got to the point where in November 2025, I had to tell these people, you know, I don't believe your doctrine no more. I didn't go into specifics, about the verbal abuse and the disregard for me as a person or anything like that. But I just let them know, look, your doctrine is heresy. I don't believe it anymore. I'm a Christian now. Don't contact me anymore. You can go tell anybody that you want to tell that's above you, but don't contact me anymore. I was done with those guys at that point, and I've been free of this cult ever since.
Israelite, right? What made you change or convert?
It was the groups that I was hanging out with were kind of they were hateful. There was a lot of prejudice at that time. It was totally against hardcore against whites. You know, I'm partially white. I'm a mixed culture. You know, my dad was Hispanic though, and that was one of the main things. I felt like I was always trying to chase laws rather than chasing grace. Right, I could never get clean. I could never get sober. Right, I never had the structure in my life that I needed. Within Catholicism, now I learned how to pray and trust in God, find His mercy and graces.
It's things. These are examples of the high control that's prevalent in organizations like these Hebrew Israelite cults. There's no regard for you as a human being. There's no regard for your personal well-being. They don't care. They don't. They call you brother, but you're not really a brother to these people. You're just somebody, a cog in the wheel, of the machine, and you're expendable to these people, and they can just discard you and put you out for whatever insane reason they want. And other brothers can attest to that. And it got to the point where in November 2025, I had to tell these people, I don't believe your doctrine no more. I didn't go into specifics, about the verbal abuse and the disregard for me as a person or anything like that. But I just let them know, look, your doctrine is heresy. I don't believe it anymore. I'm a Christian now. Don't contact me anymore. You can go tell anybody that you want to tell that's above you, but don't contact me anymore. I was done with those guys at that point, and I've been free of this cult ever since.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 19. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would have no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. Kol Holayim La, Abanawa Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. 1 John chapter 2, verse 19. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. Clear cut, straight to the point. So the Lord brought these Israelites into the truth, enlightened them for a moment, just to condemn to punish them and then bring forth his wrath at the end of the day, man. Okay, because those that are of the elect, I don't want to rock this out, we hope to be of that number, are going to stay in the fold, man. Okay, and this is just a prime example of not to take things lightly, and it's truth, to take it seriously, because in the blink of an eye you can be cast back out into the world just waiting for judgment, man. Okay, so it's no need to be upset. As it says in Philippians chapter 2 verse 12, seek out thy own salvation with fear and trembling, man. And you're gonna have people that's gonna fall out the truth, just like you had people that went astray and didn't want to follow Yahweh no more when he corrected them and called them out for their nonsense, their BS, man. Okay. And furthermore, their foundation isn't built upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, which is that rock. Yahweh Shai is built upon sand. Okay, it's not stable. And furthermore, they didn't really take this truth seriously. They took it as a joke. Okay, so they're not going to be of us. And furthermore, also too, Salakia, they were never renewed, transformed, purified in their mind and their spirit. Again, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai enlightened them for a moment, gave them, the truth, and then spewed them out for them to be, condemned, for him to judge them. Okay, these are the same Israelites from the days of old, man. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. So all these Israelites are not going to be with us. And furthermore, what they said is just condemning themselves, man. And again, the Lord is not supping with them. Let's continue, man. Let's continue. Let's let the Bible talk. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39, and I'm going to read verse 24. As his, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai's ways are plain unto the holy, Adawan Rakazah, we are the holy ones, so are they stumbling blocks onto the wicked. So this good news, this beautiful song that's being sung, that's being professed and spoken daily, by and from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai via through his prophets, it resonates. That melody, it comforts the elect. Again, I don't want to rock the Zion. We hope and pray to be that, and that's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect. These scriptures comfort us. They give us assurance. They give us hope. They give us faith. They give us trust. They give us belief. And most of all, it gives us fear towards Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, also referring back to Romans 15 verse 4, things that are written aforetime were written for our learning. So it's plain, it's simple. To us that truly seek the Lord, truly cleave on to him, truly have been submitted and in subjection to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that literally apply these precepts and not be hypocritical and just speak these precepts. That's the difference between the true believers, the true worshipers, and just a nigga, or as they say, a wetback or a tree nigga, okay, that knows the Israelites and is just joining the bandwagon for a moment and to be spewed back out into the world and to speak against the truth. Okay, that's also a precept in Sirach chapter 4, which it says, in no wise speak against the truth, man. Because what did Yahweh Shai say? By thy words thou shalt be condemned, or by thy words thou shalt be justified, man. And you're going to have to give an account in the day of judgment of what you profess, what you sowed. You're going to reap that, man. And your repercussions upon that, it's not going to be pleasant. The Lord's not going to take it easy on you, man. And again, this is just for us to remind ourselves to stay on track, for us to stay on point, stay locked in, tunnel vision, man. Stay focused, man. Okay, also referring to Romans chapter 8, there should be nothing that should take you from the love, the dedication, the fear, the faith, the belief of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, roughly paraphrasing Romans chapter 8, I believe somewhere in the 20s on down, man. Okay? But you know, these ways are plain to us, but they're stumbling blocks as example right here to the wicked. You speaking against the truth because it's speaking against our enemies, the so-called white man. Oh, I'm half white. There's no such thing as half. You are what your father is, man. But yet you go to Catholic, whatever he said, something. Now you understand how to pray and how to, man. Come on, man. That's bullshit, man. But let's continue, man, because you know you really should keep your comments to yourself because you're trying to contend against your own people coming against the truth. You really going against Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Let's read this, man. Oh, Jake just don't know. And then you got the heathen of our people that are Israelites, or maybe an actual heathen that'll get these ex, as they say, Hebrew members to speak on their platforms, man. Especially the damn devil, man. Okay? So this is Acts chapter 5, starting off at verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. And you don't see us going after Christians. Well, you know, obviously not GMS mainly. Okay, you don't see GMS going after the Christians, trying to have a debate, going to a podcast or whatever type of platform they use to have a conversation about the Bible. No, hey, look, man, we fear the Lord, man. We are here to do our Father's business. We are here to prophesy. We are here to uplift, to embrace, to edify our people, man. We're not here to be in the spotlight. We're not here to exalt and pedestalize ourselves, man. We're not here with the gimmicks and the nonsense and the bullshit of these fucking niggas, man. Because that's what these are. These are fucking niggas, man. ISUPK, IUIC, all these cats, man. Going on platforms debating about, man. It says in the book of Romans chapter 1, man, that's a demon you want to debate about. We don't need to debate about the truth, man. We got the truth. Whether you like it or not, man. And we're not going to debate. The words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah are going to stand firm, man. But you don't want to leave us alone. We're not chasing after you, man. You know, King David didn't chase after Saul. Saul chased after David, man. We too busy focused on doing the work, man. The Lord has set us up in a position to speak and declare his words, man. Not only to our people, but to everybody, man. Okay? The heathen must hear their judgments, man. The heathen must understand what's going on too, man. Nobody's exempt, man. So again, Acts 5 verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. Leave us alone, man. You don't come on the comment board trying to, well, what about this? What about this? You look it up and go find it out, man. You know, still your nonsense rhetoric over the same questions that have been answered over 100 times, man. You just can't understand it because you're going to get the same damn answer, man. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. And guess what? This work is not of men. This work is of the Heavenly Father and his Son. Okay? Which is not going to come to naught. So what are you doing? You're contending with the Creator. You're contending with the Creator's Son, man. So there's going to be a judgment, a recompense. And again, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be a smack on the wrist. It's going to be a grievous, horrific judgment. Okay, verse 39. But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it, least happily ye be found even to fight against Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And that's what y'all cats are doing. You think you coming against, you know, the menace out here that's sincere, that's really showing love towards our people, telling you who you are, your history, etc. When you're really being disobedient, disrespectful, rebellious against Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And guess what? The Lord got something nasty for you, man. Okay, like Eddie Murphy said on the Clumps, I'm gonna do something nasty to you, Sherman. And the Lord gonna do something nasty to you rebellious Israelites, man. But let's continue, man. Got another precept I want to grab. I got two more precepts I want to grab. We're gonna close it out. Y'all, you know, Jake wants to learn the hard way, man. You know, as they say in the word, a hard head make a soft ass. So your ass is going to be real tender When Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah bring those thorns, the belt, the rod, all that, man. Then you're going to be crying for mercy. By then it's going to be too late. Right now is the mercy, man. Okay? So you think you think you just going against us, you're going against Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, man. You want to be back in the world, cool. Keep that nonsense to yourself, man. This is Hosea chapter 14, verse 9. Who is wise? And he shall understand these things. So who is wise and who shall understand these things? The remnant, the predestinated, again, which we hope and pray to be. And you know, speaking as a man, but keeping it spiritual, you know, I don't want to rock the czar. I believe that the brothers that's sincere and everything else, hey man, everything's being broken down to you through the power and spirit and words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Everything is being manifested before your eyes. Prophecy is being declared. Okay, you are seeing who is truly about the business of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and not about the gimmicks, the glamour, the nonsense. Who's just locked in on one thing that we are supposed to do, and you see who's about crafting and grafting and connecting the philosophies and traits of the world into this truth, man. Okay? Hosea 14 verse 9. Who is wise, and he shall understand these things, these precepts, these prophecies. Prudent, and he shall know them. Who was breaking down everything to you? Which one out of all these camps that you know? Please let me know what our beloved elder apostle or Ramlab have done, and which was a beautiful, beautiful lesson. I'm about to go look for it, because that's how beautiful the lesson was. Please, who has broken down the book of the Songs of Solomon, the whole book, gave you the understanding of that? I don't know any other camp, any other man, any other elder, as they would state themselves to be, to break down the Songs of Solomon thoroughly, precisely through the power and spirit and words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. I'll wait. Okay? But continuing. Again, Hosea 14 verse 9. Who is wise, and he shall understand these things, prudent, and he shall know them. For the ways of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai are right, and the just shall walk in them. So the just shall walk in the ways of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Again, not going to be connecting and graphing the nonsense of the world into this truth. Not going to be doing the things that's filthy, abominable. No, just stay locked into the agenda, locked into the course. Not going off course because they got bored, because it's just too right to do what the Lord told you to do. Okay? But the transgressors shall fall therein, and these are transgressors. They fell back into the ways of the world because why? The Lord wasn't dealing with them. They weren't being renewed in their mind and their spirit. Okay, they still had that leaven, that filth. They love their enemies so much because they're worried about the heathen and not worried about their own people, man. So what's going to be a judgment for that? It would be better if they wouldn't have known the truth at all. If they would not have known the truth at all. Let's close out with that. Let's go to 2 Peter. I don't want to write this out. This is edifying and informative to the truth, sincere Akim wa Akwab. 2 Peter chapter 2, and I'm going to read the last two verses, 21 to 22. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness. Okay, so it would have been better for these jakes that said they were once in the truth and rejected the truth and went right back to that vomit, right back into the world, just to wait to be judged and be condemned. Okay, the Lord enlightened you, but it was so bitter, okay, made your belly ache. You didn't like the taste of it. It didn't resonate with your spirit. You didn't understand what was being spoken to you, as Yahweh Shai said to Salaki also in St. Matthew's 13. For what is given to him shall be taken away. Roughly paraphrasing. They didn't understand the dark parables, the dark sayings. Because again, Yahweh Shai didn't knock at the door, which is your mind. Okay, the Lord, man, this is a very, very scary thing, man. You really have to marinate on this and literally just sit back and just take this in. The Lord, with Israelites like this, that come into the truth for a certain amount of time and go back out and then go on platforms, podcasts, and talk and downgrade the truth and talk bad about it. The Lord really has a true issue with that person, man. Okay, the Lord really has an issue with that spirit. That spirit has done some wicked, vile shit. Okay? Because not only are your sins already, not being disregarded, it's worse. And what you know in the truth too, that makes it even worse. So the Lord is playing chess, man. And again, it's serious and it's scary, man. And that's why when I look at stuff like this, I take it as I need to check myself, man, and I need to be thankful, and I need to make sure that I'm fearful and I'm, staying dedicated, man. I do not want to be in a position like this, man, ever. And I say that with all truth and sincerity, man. This is not a game. It's not a joke. Okay, 2 Peter 2 verse 21. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness, then after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. So they turn their back on the Lord, man. They turn their back on righteousness and went back to vomit, filth. That cup, that whore, Babylon the Great, was holding for so long, they desired it. They were fiending for the philosophies, the rudiments, the customs, the traits, the characteristics of Babylon, because that pleased them. Following the Lord and seeking after righteousness, that they just it didn't resonate with them, man, because they're demonic. Okay, and furthermore, the Lord don't want them. Verse 22. But it is happened unto them according to the true proverb, which is in the book of Proverbs. The dog is turned to his own vomit. So that stuff that you spewed out to come into the truth, again, the 501c3 stronghold of those churches, a Catholic, a Baptist, etc. The ways of this world, which is just wicked, evil, perverse, corrupted, okay, etc. According to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her walling in the mire. So you just went back to your filth, got more filthier, and then also too, as stated in I can't remember which book, chapter, verse, but it says those demons that got purged out of you came back to your house and found no security, no guard, and invited more demons on you, man. So you let's say you had 7 demons, now you got 77 demons, and more coming in. Okay, but I don't want to wrap this out, man. I hope and I pray that this was edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true, sincere Akim Wa Akwaf. So with that, I'm just gonna say, Shalom.